Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever you are listening to this. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm recording or responding to a video from Gary Stevenson, also known as Gary Economics. And you may have seen some of his videos floating around because he was recently on Diary of a CEO in a debate with Daniel Priestley. Now, he is an ex-Citibank trader who made millions betting on inequality. And now he uses his platform to highlight the systemic issues that have led to the cost of living crisis. Now, while I respect his intention, and I know his message resonates with a lot of people, I also feel like we need to have a conversation about the deeper impact of his message. Because to me, it feels disempowering. And I believe that it's a big reason why so many people are still stuck, still struggling, and feeling more hopeless about money than ever before. So today's video isn't an attack, it's an offering, a more empowering, spiritually grounded perspective on money, on wealth, and what it actually takes to change your financial reality. Now, the problem with this idea of taxing the rich, I want to start with the obvious because we all know that wealth inequality exists. We know the system is skewed, we know it's out of balance, and we know that there is increasing polarity on either side of people in poverty, but also people with massive amounts of wealth. But Gary's go-to solution is to tax the rich. And in my worldview, this is far too simplistic because there are many, many layers to finance, from the level of how we spend our money on a day-to-day basis to big policy decisions that are going to have an impact, not just in one country, but potentially across the world. Now, in this interview on Diary of a CEO, he said that taxing the rich is hard, but it's necessary. And that's what will change things. And while I get where he's coming from, the danger with this message is it subtly trains people to believe that they are powerless until someone else fixes the problem. And it places the key to your financial freedom in the hands of government or the 1% or a new tax law. And this is not empowering because we do not have control or influence over what goes on at those levels. As much as we can have a certain amount of voting power, realistically, it's not going to be able to transform your financial reality on a day-to-day basis. And the moment we believe that our prosperity depends on a policy change, we give our power away. And this goes completely against what I teach in terms of helping people create agency in their lives, create choice in their lives, and ultimately have the financial freedom that they want, right? So this idea keeps people poor. And when you tell people over and over and over again that the system is rigged and they can't win, what's going to happen? People are going to stop trying. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity or pretending that the world is fair. I'm talking about mindset, energetics, faith, the ability to say yes. The system is flawed, but I can still thrive. I can still thrive within this system. Now, Gary often says, I made millions betting on the collapse of society. And first of all, there's been a lot of change in the world since COVID because the online game shifted during that time. People weren't able to work in their 9 to 5 jobs in the same way that they were before lockdown. And what happened was influencers became content creators more and more so, and were then able to monetize their businesses online or have influence over people in a way where they could then share their gifts through a product, an offer, or a service and be able to monetize that. So the game radically shifted during COVID, and you have access to this too, just saying, by the way. But, By Gary saying, I made millions betting on the collapse of society, as much as this is a powerful wake up call, what's the invitation there? Let's fix the system. Or is it you're screwed unless someone saves you? Right? Like this idea that we need to wait for policy to change in order to change our agency in our lives, it's disempowering. And the subtle undertone of helplessness is what I want to challenge today. This is why I'm making this video. And I want to prove to you that there is another way. Empowerment, not dependence. Because if we want real change, we need more than rage. We need more than blame, right? It's that goes back to that famous viral video that sent Will Smith into a spiral where he spoke about, it's not about blame, it's about taking responsibility. We need empowerment. We need to take responsibility for our own lives. Pointing the finger, when we point one finger, we have three pointing back at us, right? So, as much as we live within the system, we still have agency over a degree of what happens in our lives. And that means teaching people how to regulate their nervous system around money. It means helping people shift limiting beliefs around wealth. It means giving people the tools to earn in an aligned, creative, soul-led way. And it means showing people how to grow their income now without waiting for a policy to pass. Because wealth is not just about income. Wealth is not just about income. And I will keep saying this until the cows come home, because I often talk about people who talk about earning more money. But it doesn't matter how much you earn if you don't have the mindset to back it up, to be able to manage that wealth with grace, to manage that wealth with alignment so that you can hold on to it and expand it in a way that serves you and the people around you. So, wealth isn't just about income, it's about capacity. It's about our capacity to receive, it's about our capacity to give, it's about our capacity to earn. And if you don't believe you're allowed to receive more because the system is rigged, you will unconsciously sabotage the very opportunities you're asking for. And so that's what I fundamentally teach, particularly in my Aligned in Abundance course. And this is where I feel Gary's message falls short, because you can scream tax the rich all day. But if someone believes deep down that wealth is corrupt or unsafe, then they're going to let themselves hate the idea of having money. And this is where, for the love of money is the root of all evil. This is where it comes from. Right? And I will share with you some affirmations at the end of this that you can use to help you feel more empowered if that thought does come up for you. But what ancient wisdom taught me about wealth is that we went through this yesterday, that money is condensed light, it's spiritual energy in physical form. And our job is to expand our vessel to receive it. How do we expand the vessel? By increasing our certainty, by trusting the light, and by becoming a match for what we desire. Now, how do we increase our certainty when we're unsure of where the world is going? Well, when we look at it at top-down level, we can see the bigger picture of what's going on, and we can see the inequality, and we can be certain of that inequality and that growing inequality. But then we look into ourselves and we think, what impact, what change, what influence, what ripple effect do I want to have in that world, in this world? And we can act from that place, which empowers ourselves and the people around us without waiting at top level for things to sink down through society and actually create the change that we think we want. Because invariably, that's not realistically going to happen. If we tax the rich, they're just going to leave the UK. And this is the counter argument that's been circulating on social media. So we as individuals take back our agency. We take back our power by becoming a match for what we desire. When people are told over and over again that there's no hope unless someone else changes things, that is the opposite of spiritual certainty. And I think that's why a lot of people are resonating with Gary, because they are also feeling stuck. They are in that place of spiritual uncertainty. They are not seeing the path for themselves. And when you can't see the path for yourself, it's very easy to point the finger and blame someone else because his message is validating the pain, but it doesn't offer a path forward. And people are craving hope. They are craving action. They are craving ownership. And if you are someone who is here, you are most likely someone who is wanting to create alignment in your life. You have felt a calling that you are here to help people in some way in this life. And that is your spiritual wake up call. That is you having the opportunity to step into alignment so deeply with what you do that you help other people in that process. So, what I believe instead, excuse my hay fever, what I believe instead is you don't have to wait for the system to change your life. Wealth is available when you choose alignment over fear. When you choose alignment over fear, wealth and abundance flows to you. You are not irresponsible for wanting more. You're expanding. Like from the very definition of saying that we need to tax the wealthiest in society, that puts off people from this dream of becoming wealthy because if you think about it, when you put yourself in those shoes of someone who is wealthy, of someone who is a multimillionaire or a billionaire, you might have that thought of like, do I actually want to be that person? Because then everyone's going to have their eyes on me as the evil person. So we subconsciously block our potential and our potential of what our reality could be by the very definition of how we see the world right now through this lens that people with a lot of money are evil, that they are bad people because they didn't work for it, they didn't deserve it in some kind of way. And we make all these subconscious judgments about someone else's wealth. And then when we say to ourselves, well, we want to be wealthy, well, what does that say about who we are then? And so we want to be transforming these thoughts. We need to be really digging in deep. It's like you have a cut on your arm. Instead of just sticking a plaster on this cut and going, do you know what? We don't really want to be wealthy. We actually need to heal this cut. We need to have stitches. We need to go into the layers of our mind, the layers of our conscious reality, and say to ourselves, well, what negative beliefs do we have around money? What stories are we telling ourselves about these rich people? And how does that disempower people in society today to actually go ahead and achieve their dreams? Because it just feels so out of touch. And do you know what? When you do touch that golden trophy at the end of the tunnel, well, actually, it's all going to be ripped from you. It's all going to be taken away. So I want you to get out of thinking that that is how it's going to be, because the light will meet you when you move with intention. When you are expanding in the direction of your alignment, you are not irresponsible for wanting more. You are simply following your path. And so let's create a new narrative, one where you can be aware of inequality, but still claim your power. One where you know how to hold wealth and receive with confidence and create money from a place of purpose. So I know there's going to be people out there, and I've already had some very strange comments on some of my videos, but I'm not a financial advisor. I am your guide, your mentor, your coach, offering you a different lens to see reality. And that's my invitation. You can take what resonates, you can leave what doesn't. But just know this, you are not powerless. You are not broken. And you do not have to wait for anyone else to decide that you are worthy of more. The system may be flawed, but you are not. And the moment you start acting like your financial future is in your hands, it is. You just have to trust. You have to become the person who is financially responsible enough to see that vision for yourself and to create the financial systems in your life that are going to support that and back that up. So I want to share with you some affirmations to release the belief that money is the root of all evil. I release the belief that money is evil or corrupt. Money is a neutral tool that amplifies the energy of the person using it. I choose to use money for good, to create positive change in the world. I am worthy of wealth that supports my highest purpose. The more abundance I allow, the more I can serve and uplift others. I trust myself to hold wealth with integrity, love, and grace. It is safe for me to be wealthy, spiritual, and deeply good. My financial abundance is a reflection of the light flowing through me. I honor the divine potential of money to heal, uplift, and expand. I am rewriting my money story with love, trust, and empowerment. And with that, I'm sending you so much love today, so much abundance, grace, and ease. If this resonated on any level, drop a comment below, like, subscribe, comment. And if you want to explore how to create more aligned wealth, check out the links in the description about my Sacred Money Archetypes quiz and my Aligned and Abundance course. And I will see you all in the next video.